Welcome to the big clash on day one of the Global Chess League. A handshake between Hikaru Nakamura and Gukesh. E4, C5 by Gukesh. Knight to F3. He plays his pawn to E6. What a clash this is between these two players. Hikaru representing the Fyers American Gambits, while Gukesh representing PBG Alaskan Knights. And Hikaru playing slightly offbeat variation with G3 in the Sicilian. Pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. This is the third edition of the Tech Mahindra Global Chess League. And bishop goes to G2, knight to C6. We have a slight color issue right now in the video, but that will be sorted very soon. Knight to F6. And Gukesh adjusts his pieces, presses the clock. The last time these two people played, the king was thrown into the crowd by Hikaru. Pawn to D4. The bishop comes out to E7. And now he takes the pawn on C5. Bishop takes C5. Knight comes out to C3, attacking the pawn on D5. Black castles here. And bishop to G5, pinning the knight. Pawn to D4, pushing ahead. And now knight jumps into E4. The bishop comes back and bishop takes F6. Bishop takes F6. Knight E1 played. So the idea now is to get the knight to D3. And Gukesh has to figure out what to do because he has the bishop pair. He keeps it. He's like, Hikaru, I want to play with the bishops. Knight to D3 by Hikaru. A beautifully positioned knight here which cannot be moved. Bishop to F5. The bishop is well positioned, putting pressure on this diagonal. And rook E1. Now queen comes out to B6. Gukesh keeping the pressure on B2. Going to centralize his rooks here. Hikaru brings his queen to F3 and pawn to G6. And look at the times on the clock. Gukesh is in fact up ahead on the clock, which is quite amazing against a player like Hikaru who is so quick. Pawn to A5. And now Hikaru brings his queen one step forward. Gukesh brings his rook in. I love this move because it's putting pressure on the C2 point. The rook comes up to E2, defending here and also planning to double down on the E file. Gukesh brings his knight back. A lovely move. Knight E6, trying to attack the queen on F4. Hikaru doubles the rook on the E file. And now knight comes up to E6. Both players playing excellent chess. And queen to D2, not a great move because now Gukesh has complete control over the position. He plays rook C7, also rook F D8 would have been nice, but okay, he's doubling on the C file. H3 played by Hikaru, trying to go G4, and now the color is much better. Apologies for that issue. Queen D1 played, putting pressure on C2 and H5, gaining space on the king side, but also weakening the structure a bit. Eventually, there could be certain tactics. H4 played by Gukesh. And now he's going to play G4. Pretty sure about that. He pushes his pawn to G4 and Gukesh chops off the knight. On E4. Bishop takes on E4. And threatening BG6 followed by rook E6. Actually, it's not happening, but that can become a threat. Bishop goes to G5. Rook E2 getting, now this is a big threat. And is Gukesh going to exchange the knights? Yes, he does that. And this entire sequence with bishop G5 and knight F4 actually results in an opposite colored bishop position. Queen to D3. You shouldn't be going after this pawn as bishop takes G6 is very strong. So king comes up to G7 for Gukesh. And what is Hikaru going to do now? Well, Hikaru just arrived in India today before this encounter, so he must be very tired. Again, if you take on B2, rook E7 looks very scary. Will Gukesh have the courage to do that? No, he goes queen F6, which is a much more calm move here. And he goes rook to D1, attacking the D4 pawn here. Gukesh comes back, defends it. Queen goes to e4, attacking the bishop. And so rook e7, the queen drops back to f3. Hikaru starting to move quickly. He has 3 minutes 55 seconds. The opposite colored bishop position is equal. But let's see what happens next. Are the players willing to play and fight it out? Queen takes f6. He offers a draw. And Gukesh is like, is it okay to offer a draw at this point? Is it allowed by the rules? So he pauses the clock, calls the arbiter. And he's like, can I offer a draw now? And so a draw offer, and the players agree because they have made 34 moves. And Hikaru is like, maybe you shouldn't have traded the knights perhaps. I think Gukesh played really well. He was comfortable throughout. Hikaru, I think, is happy because in his team they already scored the one win which was extremely important, and that led to the win of his team. Teodora Inyak managed to beat Sarasadat Khademal Sharia, so that actually helped Fyers American Gambit beat the PBG Alaskan Knights. So Gukesh would have loved to press here, and as you can see, he's now looking at his teammates, and 5 draws on 5 boards, and that one decisive game for the Fyers American Gambits. But today no kings flew, nothing happened. It was a very respectful game. Both of them analyzing for so long shows also that there is no bad blood between Gukesh and Hikaru. That just goes to show that these players really respect each other, and it's wonderful to see them analyzing and their love for chess. For now, this is Sagar Shah signing off. Do come to the Royal Opera House in Mumbai if you would like to witness the Global Chess League for the next 9 days. It will be epic fun.